Yo guys, what is going on? Insanity coming back at you today with another Division 2 video, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the True Sons faction. It is the newest entry in the Intelligence Annex dev blogs that the devs over at the Division are putting in for us to read about, and this time around it's all about giving us a little bit more of a deeper look not only into the faction, but the lore that's behind it. And it looks like the Division 2 is going to be more heavy on the lore than the first game, and that really excites me. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. Let's find out more about this faction. Strength, power, and greatness. A former JTF unit turned paramilitary group. True Sons are a group of radical mutineers and trained criminals determined to eliminate all enemies and rivals in their pursuit of domination. Known for their brutal discipline and complete apathy, they are a highly trained, coordinated, and dangerous faction. According to them, America was founded through bloodshed, and through bloodshed, a new society will rise, whatever it takes. True Sons will be at the top of the food chain. There is no room for weakness. Cowards die on their knees, and it's gonna be great. Oh, Antoine Ridgway. That is a direct quote from this. This is actually pretty crazy. All right. When the pandemic broke out, chaos and panic spread across Washington, D.C. In an attempt to control the spreading of the virus, the JTF established a quarantine on Roosevelt Island. Colonel Antoine Ridgway was given the responsibility to administer the quarantine and ensure that everything ran smoothly. Seeing all the tragedy and despair caused by the virus, Ridgway started to lose faith in the JTF's ability to save Washington, D.C. He quickly came to the conclusion that there was no way they were going to survive. As a strong believer in the need for authority and discipline, Ridgway decided to take matters into his own hands. In frustration and fear for the city's future, he deployed guards around the quarantine with the order to not let anyone out. He started to redirect resources coming into the quarantine, letting people starve to death and withholding medicine. In his eyes, the sick and the weak were already dead, so his number one priority became to secure the future of his own men. Since the city was just in complete shambles at this point, it took a pretty good while for the JTF commander to find out what was going on, and he became imprisoned. However, it did not take long until loyal members of his unit freed him out. In Ridgway's eyes, he had done nothing wrong. According to him, he was the only one with a realistic and viable solution to the situation. Therefore, the betrayal of his fellow officers filled him with rage and hate towards the JTF and the federal government. As soon as he got out, he gathered men from his former unit and the stockade from where he was held prisoner. Together, they captured the JTF officers that held him and imprisoned him, and held a symbolic tribunal for them, only to execute them moments later. And so, the True Sons was born. According to the True Sons, survival of the fittest is the only way to survive in Washington, D.C. Due to their access to weapons, equipment, and expertise, the True Sons are now the top dogs in Washington, D.C. This newfound power has made them into vicious and arrogant bullies. Intimidation, cruelty, and violence have become the key factors in the True Sons' paramilitary dictatorship. True Sons do not think twice about making examples out of people to further ensure obedience. Either you join them or you will die. Whoever and whatever stands in between True Sons and General Ridgway's position as an absolute rulers of Washington, D.C. will be eliminated. True Sons are very combat competent. Training and discipline is important to them, which becomes apparent with their strategic approach. Whenever you engage in battle with the Sons, they will spread out and come at you from every angle. This means you have to keep moving and look over your shoulder at all times. When you start picking them off, they become fewer in numbers, and their behavior is going to change. They will get more desperate and erratic, and which will lead them to eventually give up on their entire strategy and charge straight down at you and try to take you down at all cost. There's 10 different archetypes within this faction, and each of them will have their own unique behavior and mechanisms depending on which special ability each archetype has. That will also act as their weak point as well. So, for example, the medic archetype has a special ability of his shock pads. With them, he can revive allies and shock enemies. If you shoot these shock pads, they will get destroyed, and everyone around him will get shocked, and he will lose his abilities. This is pretty crazy, and this is a lot of information to take in on just one faction alone, but it almost kind of seems that this is the new version of the crazy LMB from the first game. This is going to be that paramilitary unit that's extremely organized and has all the powerful weaponry, and are going to have a ton of different ways to come at you. Anyways, guys, this is just one faction that's been revealed for the Division 2. What do you guys think? Is this going to be the be-all end-all crazy faction that we're all gonna have to try and take down, or is there something else bigger going on within Washington D.C. that we just don't know about yet? Anyways, like if you haven't, sub if you're new for more Division 2 content, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.